Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining me, the old grumpy Prosperity team, and the Prosperous Divas for this exciting special presentation of Grow Your Mind and Money. We're interviewing Lauria, a rising star and future legend in the entertainment world, whose desire to bring joy to the world through her talent has inspired others to reach for the stars. Lauria has experienced the other side of the mountain, the valley, and the mountaintop, and has used those challenges to empower herself and others in pursuing their dreams. What has her be a champion for humanity is her work with a foundation that was founded by her grandmother to make a difference and support those people who are dealing with hard times. Lauria's spirit, passion, and faith has her be a champion for humanity. Our girl, Shani, the original Sunshine Princess of Poetry, sent us a special selection from her archive. So let's go ahead and hear Ready to Move My Feet.
Hey, it's Shani the Poet, the original Sunshine Princess of Poetry. And tonight, I'm ready to move my feet. They don't really know me like they think they do. And they don't see who's kept me safe. They don't know where I was delivered from. If they did, they'd understand that I'm not ruined as they imagined I'd be. I'm ready to move my feet. Life is too short to start the day with broken pieces of yesterday, damaged inside or out. I'm grateful for the wonderful that today will bring, so they can have everything that I have and try to break everything that I am, and I will continue to rise. No more tears in my eyes, no fear inside. I'm here for more than just to survive. The universe says it's time to let go. Yes, let go of those battles that aren't mine. Recognize the risk of allowing them to stay by my side. I'm changing lives. Releasing the uncertainty of moving on to the new life. Love, pure and drama-free. I'm ready to move my feet. I'm moving with the purpose and drive. And yes, I still got fight in me. I am a warrior among these thieves, and I felt them trying to bleed me weak, but I am destined to do great things. No matter what they think of me, no matter what they think they see, I am amazing remnants of the shine that will still be long after this old life ceased to be. I am blessed in my walk. I have belief in my talk, and healing comes from sharing it all. They might not like it, but this makes me greater than they can ever imagine. They don't see me clearly because they don't know. No, they don't know me. If they did, they wouldn't try to leave their unwanted residue on my spirit. They would stop and listen so they can hear clearly. They don't. They rather try to disturb my balance as if they'd ever represent a challenge. But I'm ready. I'm ready for what I'm made to be. I'm ready to move my feet. I am blessed for the gift that He gave me, and their presence are breathtaking, keeping me focused and thanking God for their lives. They are the future, and our path is already paved, bearing an amazing shine that continues to light the way, so they can try to take everything I have, and they can try to break everything that I am. I know for us, we will always be provided for. One day you'll see what I see. One day you'll believe what I believe. Because the universe, yes, God lives in me. I strive to be better than I was yesterday. My imperfections are what He seeks. With my flaws and all, yep, God still loves me. I will continue to move my feet, raining down blessings on me. So I dare you. I dare you. I dare you to do something different. Dare you to step aside. Dare you to give it all to the universe. Let yourself be open to receive. Go ahead. Let them know that you're finally ready to move your feet. I hope you've enjoyed. I'm ready to move my feet.
Snap, 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 and toe tap. Before we continue, it's time to see what Prosperous thoughts our Diva Robin has for us today. And welcome back, Robin.
Oh, yay. Thank you so much. It's great to be back. It's wonderful to hear your voice. Well, the prospering thought for today. I have prospering thoughts. And today it's about divine order. My life is in divine order. I affirm divine order every day, many times a day. My affirmations do not make things magically happen. Rather, the words keep me focused on the truth of natural order. From this awareness, I remain in a place of inner calmness and peace, despite outer conditions. This is no guarantee that life will be without challenges at times. But it means that if a challenge presents itself, I can call upon my inner powers of faith and wisdom. I affirm divine order and know that I have the power to reinterpret any negative appearance in my life. I affirm and know that whatever happens, there will be a blessing. With my positive affirmations, I invite positive energy and abundant blessings into my life and the lives of others. I am divine order. What I am present to about myself and growing my mind when it comes to the theme divine order is the truth of it. Is that it really, really is the truth that that everything is in divine right order. It's in divine order. And all I need to do is remind myself of that to bring myself back to a place of peace. And when I let things be and trust that they're in divine order, they come out probably much better than if I had pushed that river. So that's what I'm present to. So now it's time for our special interview with Lauria. Oh, I'm so excited. Lauria, welcome, welcome, welcome. Ronnie B.
Thank you.
Yay. Thank you for being here. And Ronnie B., take it away.
Well, thank you, Baroness. And the Princess Warrior Janice snuck in. So I have a feeling it must be halftime for the Eagles Bears game. But I'm not going to say anything other than go Bears. Other than go Bears. All right, okay.
Smooches, Princess Warrior.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, well. In this part of the interview, we learned about a challenge Lauria faced in having her dreams fulfilled, a challenge that knocked the wind out of her sails. Somehow, some way, she kept going and turned that challenge from seeming defeat to victory. Thank you, Lauria, for being on the show tonight.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited.
Wow, great. And Lauria, I know Lauria is your stage name, and it's beautiful. What is your full name? Because I like how it flowed, but I'm not going to mispronounce it.
My full name is Florila Zadig, but most
people
don't seem to be able to pronounce it, which is why I go with by Lauria.
Okay, well, I know it's because we folks down here in the south part of of North America had public education. All right. Thank you, Lauria. Thank you. Now, again, in this part of the interview, we look at a challenge that that knocked the wind out of her sails. So we're going to dive right into it. Okay, Lauria? Would you please share an incident or a time in your life that knocked the wind out of your sails, when the going got even rougher and you felt like you were lost. And please be as specific as possible so we can, just truly experience what you were appreciate what you were experiencing.
Well, I think one of the worst time in my singing career is when my band, I was in a band a little before, a couple of years ago, and it got disbanded, and we all went our own ways. And I was the youngest, and I was, I believe, the least experienced out of everybody, and I just felt like this was it. I thought that this band was going to be what was going to really take me further in my career, and the fact that it didn't and everything stopped very abruptly made me so sad, and I was ready to give up, and I just felt like this was it, that if it wasn't going to happen with the band, then it was never going to happen. And
I could get that because you're working with a group, and it's like
right.
That group dynamic that we, almost like family, we will. Now,
Exactly.
During that time that you were dealing with the breakup of the band, did you find yourself like blaming other people or the circumstances or yourself for how things were going?
I blamed other people, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Because I know that you shouldn't. I know that you shouldn't, but I did. Because we disbanded, it was a domino effect that started with one of the members who said that she wasn't really happy. And so I blamed her because I felt like she was the starting point, and then I blamed other people. And now realize that she had to do what's best for herself and what made her happy. And but I did blame other people. Yes, I can't deny it. I have to be honest.
Well, and it sounds like you specifically blamed the one young lady, but as you said, you kind of grew to that. Hey, people have to choose. Now, in the midst of all of that, in the midst of that situation, because, I've had that experience of just really putting it in my heart with something, and it seemingly through no fault of my own, it went south, and I mean past South America. It just crashed and burned, and you put yourself on the line like that, and being the youngest. Now, there was a point where, because you're in the, like we kind of get that you're in the, entertainment world still, there was a point where you stopped caring about who or what to blame. Can you share, when that kind of freedom came about, when you were able to just say, forget that and let me move on?
Yeah, it was actually a very nice light bulb moment. It was my aunt. She's very, she cares a lot about church, and she made this event to try to raise some money for her church, and she asked me to sing there. For no other reason than to help her. And I remember I went and I sang in front of people, and I just felt so good, and it just made me feel so free. And I thought, I'm not doing it for the band. I'm not doing it for anybody. This makes me happy. So if this makes me happy, I have to put in the work, and it has to be on me, and this is it. And that's when I really stopped caring about the band, and I just thought, I'm going to do this for myself, because this is it. This is what I want to do.
Wow. It's wow. That sometimes we, as we're giving for someone else, we don't get that we're really giving for ourselves, because you were
right.
giving for your aunt, and you got something. You weren't even looking at that, and that is interesting how that can be. Now,
right.
Thinking about our theme, divine order, what are you present to that you can share with our listeners?
I am present to determination. It's all about determination. And this is really, I want to put in work that shows that It's not about trend. It's not about nothing. It's just about making yourself happy and be focused and determined in what you do. Yeah.
Wow. You know, one of the things that, and I just want this to stand out, and that was, you said, around blaming, like that you knew you shouldn't blame another, but you did it anyway.
Yeah. Yes.
And I could get that it may not have been that you wanted to. It was just like automatic, you know, yep, I'm going to blame this other person here.
Exactly.
And I think it's just so beautiful that the theme is divine order. Without that having happened, you wouldn't have had your aunt invite you to perform. And
I wouldn't have that
without that happening, right, that wouldn't happen. Now, Diva Robin later on is going to kind of focus on the aha moment when you say, I'm going to be an entertainer, and that may be around the same, or it might be like, because there's a difference between I'm going to do this, you know, I got this, I love this, it's me. And you know what? I am going to be a professional and do the business thing. So she's going to touch on that a little bit more. But I want to thank you for sharing. Just share that it's just like, God, how many times? And I know Princess Warrior Janice can relate to putting her heart on the line. And it's good, because she has to deal with so much talent, and it's like, God, All right, so, but let me check in with the Divas and see what is present for them from the interview. And speaking of Diva Janice,
Yes.
Would you like to share what's present for you from the interview? Tough warrior princess person.
I feel reincarnated. That's what's present for me. Actually, I most certainly can relate to what the young lady has shared. And being in media and having grown up in this area, it is so heart-wrenching when you work hard to perfect your craft and then things still don't turn out right. And what most people do is internalize the conflict as a negative, when in actuality it's just a teaching tool. And when we shift our thinking, we realize, okay, if we never had delays, if we never had heartbreaks, if we never had disappointments, how would we grow? So for me, what's present, in addition to what I just shared, is a perfecting mechanism, because obviously God sees something of greater value in me that needs to be squeezed out, and the only way that it comes to the surface is through the friction. So that's what's present for me, and I'm grateful for that because it makes me better. Every day I get up, I have an opportunity to get better at living, which makes me more equipped to make better decisions. And because I'm in a public arena, I get to share this regardless if people want to hear it or not, because when they ask me, how did I do it? When they ask me, see, I don't just volunteer because I'm not casting pearls before swine, but when you ask me, how did I do it? I have an opportunity to help people develop, and I find that to be priceless. So that's what's present for me, Ronnie.
I love what you said about God sees something in you that needs to be squeezed out.
Squeeze. Sometimes you just got to
you were that. See, that's it. You said squeezed. I was like, yo, it can go that way, huh? Okay, thank you.
In all of that.
Yeah, I like that. Thank you. That's a good reminder. Let me tiptoe over here to the Baroness herself. Robin.
Hi there. Well, what I noticed and what I'm present to from what Lauria shared is how we don't have the ability to control what other people do. That it reminded me of partnerships and collaborations that I've been involved with. As in my main career, which is being an artist, almost all of my work is done alone. But there have been times when I've had collaborations, and it can be so sweet, and it also can be so heartbreaking. And that doesn't at all deviate from the whole recognition that everything is in divine order, including what it appears that other people do for us, what other people do to us, and what we do to ourselves, what we do for ourselves. And then finally, I've been involved in a kind of study involving the discovery that there's no individual self, and it's another deeper layer of surrender to divine order. So I'm, totally in love with this context that we have today of divine order for our conversation, and for the Lauria in having already begun to see that at a young age.
All right, okay, Baroness. And by the way, Lauria is 67. And no, she's not. She's not.
Whatever. Right.
Interesting choice.
I was just teasing. All right. Empress
Are you
of
saying
Faith.
that 67 is old? Is that what you're implying here?
No.
I'm implying when you said young. I'm going, well, hey, but she has wisdom of the ages.
That's right.
All right.
That was a good clean-up line of duty.
67 is the new 25, honey bun.
All right. Look, some conversation should be done offline. Empress of Faith, Nakia, get us out of this conversation. What are you present to?
I was trying, but you deeper and deeper. So, I had to step back. Wow. So for myself, I can really appreciate when you took ownership of your life and became responsible and stopped running from the unknown. You became real with the experience, and you began to be who you were designed and created to be. You took ownership and was like, I see that people have to make decisions based on what's best for them in their life, in their situation, their circumstance at that moment. It's not making anybody wrong or making her right, because you did not label her. You accepted her decision, and you were okay with it. And then you took ownership of your own life and your own decision and said, you know what? I'm going to have to do, what's best for me, and I'm going to have to go through the experience, however difficult and uncomfortable it is, and it may be. And a lot of us in the world have to get to that point before we step up and really step into who we are supposed to be being in the world and for the world. And sometimes people get it early. Sometimes people get it late. Sometimes it's just what's so and what's available in a person's experience. So I can really appreciate that, and I acknowledge you for stepping into that space and really being present to what you got when you were simply honoring the request to perform at the gathering, at the event. And as a result of your authenticity and just no intentionality other than just being present and doing what you were requested to do, you were able to get so much out of it and give so much more into the world because of the purity and the innocence of your actions. So thank you so kindly.
Thank you. Wow, I'm
All right.
blushing.
Diva Nikki, I know you're present for
Yes.
something. I see you over there
You know what?
with that little Cheshire cat smile. What's up? What you present to?
You know, I'm actually present to some of the same things that the other stated, especially Kia, with that moment where she decided to stop blaming someone else was the moment she accepted the opportunity and the request to serve. And in her serving, sharing what was given to her to share with others anyway, which is her natural talent. And I was thinking about how right now, with everything that's going on with R. Kelly, the allegations that are against him, and with the docu-series and everything, and all the conversations that it's strung up. And I was thinking to myself earlier, like, what if people didn't idolize the musicians, the artists, the actors, the celebrities, and just took their talent for what the talent itself was? Then we separate the talent from the person. But when we always try to capitalize from our talents that were given to us to share anyway, and we look to other people to validate the talent and the desire within us, then these traps and these expectations, these broken expectations, is how we get caught up in things like what's going on right now with R. Kelly. And of course, R. Kelly is not the first one, and he won't be the last. But right now, he is the talk of the town and the talk of the world, pretty much, or the talk of America right now, right? And so I was just really present to that, and just, that's it, you know, like just in serving. What came from her just serving. And now look at how the peace that she has and what she's doing, and doing something she was going to do anyway, because it was already in her to do. That's it.
All right. And I love what you said, and it really, in the moment, it had me appreciate why we do Grow Your Mind and Money the way we do, so that we can know a person, not just their talent or their business.
Right.
Yep. All right. We can know them as the person, and we may love the talent, but we get to have that nugget. So really, thank you for sharing, Lauria. Now, we will hear more from Lauria later in the show. It's time for a prosperous spirit. Miss Cookie sent some inspiring words that we could all share. Empress Nakia, over to you.
Ooh, excuse me. I was sneezing. I apologize. I hope y'all didn't hear that.
That's your blessing.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about that divine blueprint. So, I am a child of God, created to express the qualities of spirit. Webster's dictionary defines the word evolve as a change toward the better. Within everyone is a blueprint for well-being, wisdom, joy, success, and abundance. An aspect of this blueprint is the impediment to become more. As a child of God, it is my nature to change and grow from my divinity. I am evolving in both my human and my spiritual development. In order to change my life for the better, I must first recognize my divine identity. As I mature spiritually, I naturally get in touch with my true essence, and it becomes easier to reveal more of the divine. In tune with my true nature, I live my life boldly. I am honored to express the qualities of spirit and grateful to share my gifts with the world. Countess, Jacqueline is not here, so let me take us to break. Stay tuned for The Kitchen with Miss Cookie, and join me at the corner. We are featuring music from our guest, Lauria.
We give it all to you on Grow Your Mind and Money, and we do it all with love. Okay, something smells great. I think it's a dish Miss Cookie has been whipping up in the kitchen, and Ronnie B is sharing her recipe. Please tell us, Ronnie B, tell us this recipe.
Oh, let me tell you. Welcome to the kitchen. We have a great recipe to feed those hearty appetites that have been working diligently on growing their minds and money. Now, Miss Cookie has sent a nice and easy dish for afternoon treat. It's just perfect for Bears-Eagles game. And it's bananas and caramel sauce, a delicious fast dessert. Impressive served when the sauce is still bubbling. Served with coconut ice cream if desired. The ingredients: half a cup of butter, 1 cup superfine sugar, 1 1/4 cups heavy cream, 4 bananas peeled and half lengthwise. The preparation is 5 minutes. The cook time is 10 minutes, and it's ready in a total of 15 minutes. So it's nice, easy. The directions: first, melt the butter in a large, heavy skillet over medium heat. Stir in sugar and cook, stirring until the sugar is melted and light brown. Slowly stir in the cream. Now the mixture will bubble up. Second, let the mixture boil 1 minute, then reduce the heat to low. Place the bananas in the pan and cook until heated through about 2 minutes. Serve hot. Yummy, yummy. So simple that even Empress Nakia can do it. And your family will enjoy. It's time for the corner. Countess Jacqueline gave Empress Nakia the keys. Let's give her a smooch and a rose. Over to you, Empress.
I think we need to have a cooking contest on that particular recipe. Let's see how it works out. All right. Welcome to the corner. We are featuring music from our guest, Laura, from Montreal, Canada. We asked the team to vote whether the track should get a smooch and a rose, or if it needs more fertilizing. So let's hear the first selection titled, I Got Me. All right, Ronnie B.
He left me a note on my bed, telling me it's over like this. Never knew how little he cared. Guess it was never really fair. And now I'm left alone. All the things around me on my own. And I just realized got everything I need. I got me, I'm okay. He's already fading away. I'll survive the biggest lie. He should see me getting by. I got me, I got me, I got me. He thinks I'm crying now, regretting the time he was mine. Ha ha, but boo to you. I mean, if you only knew. Now I'm in peace with myself. Got my fingers up, sending you the deuces. Cause I just realized got everything I need. I got me, I'm okay. He's already fading away. I'll survive the biggest lie. He should see me getting by. I got me, I got me, I got me. what you're looking for. You know I'm fine, you know I'm cool, you know I ain't living by the rules. And I know I'll be fine with me alone. I got me, I'm okay. He's already fading away. He's just found to my eyes, the biggest light. He should see me getting by. I got me, I got me, I got me. I got me, I'm okay. He's already fading away. I'll survive the biggest light. He should see me getting by. I got me, I got me, I got me.
Right, all right, all right. So that was I Got Me. Now, is the track getting a smooch and a rose or free fertilizer? Since I'm the one talking, I'm going to go and represent and request Diva Janice. Go ahead, tell me what you think about it.
I love the lyrics, and most certainly I'm going to say that I give a smooch and a rose. And I would offer the suggestion, being in this business, and this is a technical thing, has nothing to do with her, but on the engineering side, I would have filled her voice a little more on the technical side because of her range. I heard so much in her vocal ability that was not really tapped, that could have been infused to create that wonderful harmony that I kept hearing when she hit certain notes. But most certainly, I like this song. I really like this song.
Thank you.
So she has a smooch and a rose. Absolutely.
Awesome, awesome. We got a smooch and a rose. And technical can be addressed. Definitely. Therein, Robin.
Hey there. Well, I, too, love the song. I really, really like your voice, Lauria.
Thank you.
The only thing, and so for me, yeah, definitely a smooch and a rose. And my 2 cents worth is, I think especially at the beginning, and of course, I couldn't hear it all that perfectly. It was a little, I don't know what the word is, just not quite clear, but it seemed a little overproduced to me. I guess maybe it's kind of the same thing that Diva Janice was saying, that I would have wanted to hear your voice better, or more, have your voice be louder than the background. But I still loved it. Smooching and rosing.
Awesome. Okay, smooch and a rose. Thank you for that share. Now, Diva Nikki.
First of all,
okay.
First of all, she got a smooch and a rose from Lauria Janice. That says a lot. Just in case you don't know, that says a lot. I give it a smooch.
Is that because Diva Janice has stock in a fertilizer company?
I think she is a major investor, and she's not alone. Somebody's invested in the truck, someone invested in fertilizer. But I give it a smooch and a rose. I love the originality of the tone of your voice.
Thank you.
The originality of your vocal. It's unique. And it goes to show what an artist can do when they allow themselves to stay in the independent and individual mind frame versus mainstream and just trying to stick to what everybody else is doing. So that stood out to me along with the lyrics. So I give it a smooch and a rose.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that share, Nikki, because woo! All right. Ronnie.
Yes, I know.
Lauria, if you're getting the feeling that the fertilizer gets passed out more than smooches and roses, I got to check. It might lean that way. Well, I'm giving the track a smooch and a rose. And, Lauria, I only have one suggestion, and that's make your engineer producer listen to this show, because you can say, now, look, they love me. They love me. Now, what's your problem? Oh, God. Beautiful track. That Smooch and Rose. I love it.
Thank you so much, everybody. I feel very blessed. Thank you.
Thank you, Ronnie B. So, for myself, as the Empress of Faith, I'm definitely going to give a Smooch and a Rose. And, Nikki, thank you for pointing that out, because we have definitely had a lot of imitators, not originators. And you know, the Empress can't handle it, because I'll pull it out. I'll pull it out. If you don't get a car, you don't get a car, you don't get a car. So, Lauria, you are truly refreshing, and I totally love the track, I Got Me. So the lyrics was great. Thank you so very much for sharing that with the world. Now,
thank you.
You're most definitely welcome. So, I gave the track I Got Me a Rose, so I don't need to utilize my bag of fertilizer. So up next, let's discuss, after we listen to Losing Me. All right, Ronnie B. Okay. How about that? Panel, Losing Me. Is it getting a smooch and a rose or a bit of fertilizer? Diva Nikki, let's start with you this time, my love.
That track makes me want to walk on the beach or take a walk in the park and just do some very reflective thinking and kind of just go into a place of inner growth and self-expression freely. So I'm going to give it a smooch and a roll.
All right. That was a mouthful. Okay. Diva Janice, how about you, love?
I love this song. It is truly an introspective type of song, contemplative. It makes you reassess life, and it inspires you to slow it down. I really love the vibe of a voice and the arrangement. I think the arrangement is really, really, really pretty as well. Most certainly a Smooch and a Rose, and it's an empowerment song for people in general, and it's not gender specific. It just speaks to the soul. There are just some things we have to let go so that we can be open for the newness that's waiting to embrace our new dimension. So most certainly I love this song, A Smooch and a Rose.
Wow, I got that. Baroness Robin, what did you...
Do you have more to say?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Go.
It's unanimous. I loved it, too. And I was just imagining slow dancing with my husband to that song as I was hearing it. And it's so great when a song can be nice and romantic and slow and contemplative and at the same time have a catchy tune. I noticed that the tune is really stuck in my head. And I think that the voicing and the arrangement were really a perfect match. I think it was just really beautiful.
Wow. Awesome assessment. Wonderful. Ronnie B., what about you, sir?
Well, I'm not going to give it a smooch and a rose.
Really?
I'm going to give it a double smooch and a rose.
Well, all right.
But I have one
this is
question
unheard
for
of.
Lauria. I have one question for Lauria, and that is, Losing Me came in on 2 tracks. And one said radio edit. What is the radio edit?
There is no, the curse word is taken off in the radio edit.
Okay, I'll give it a smooch and a rose.
Thank you so much.
Ronnie, I need you to know that next time. I'm sorry. Woo! So for myself, I've definitely given that track a smooch and a rose. It was very relaxing. It was a calming of the mind, and you could just sit there and be with it. You can be with the song, you could be with the words, you could be with the melody, you could be with just the music, you could just be with it. And whatever space that you're in, it is soothing, and it's thought-provoking, and it's just loving. So, Losing Me. Wow. First I got me, now I'm losing me. Woohoo! If you like from Laura, you can check her out at
Lauria.
Lauria. Ooh, thank you. If you like the music from Lauria, you can check her out at www.lauria-music.com and the Old Grumpy Radio Network. Lauria, how should our listeners follow you and learn more about you and your music?
Well, like everybody else, you can find me on all social networks, Facebook, Instagram. I'm a little bit on Twitter, but you can just look out for official Lauria, So at official Lauria on Instagram and Twitter, and simply Lauria on Facebook, and I'll be there. And I got new music coming up, so everybody stay tuned. I'm very excited.
Awesome. So, Baroness Robin, please take us to break. Thank you.
My pleasure. Up next, we will have Shawnee's Sunshine Lounge, my interview with Lauria, plus Voices from the Ethers with Empress Nakia. Please stay tuned. The time is Central Time, 6:05. We'll be back at 6:10.
We give it all to you on Grow Your Mind and Money, and we do it all with love. Shawnee left the keys to the lounge with one of her favorite people, Diva Nikki. Let's see what's going on in the lounge. Over to you.
Welcome, welcome to Shawnee's Sunshine Lounge, where we feature a mixture of goodies that will stimulate your mind and maybe have you tap your feet. Tonight, we have an awesome poet named Kimiko Farrar performing Color Me Pretty.
I used to sleep in lip gloss and earrings so I could dream pretty dreams. Had goals smaller than the lumps on a preteen, but craved the attention to be seen. If just one person had to pull the societal pacifier and intervene, then maybe I wouldn't have had to teach myself that I was a queen, and there'd be no need to color me pretty. My mama once told me that when she was young, she would untangle her hair and thin it out with a fork. My coworkers asked, "Are those big afro things making a comeback? I don't understand why y'all want to wear your hair like that." See, it's not just hair. It's about more than attractiveness. There has been a whitewashing of beauty in the media. It's no coincidence that the so-called beautiful women of color look acceptably European. Our ancestors were told they weren't good enough. So now the fact that we are insecure is a generational curse, and we have developed an affinity for simulation. The spectrum of what is considered beautiful is determined by some itty-bitty chick in a big city. So photographers upgrade to the latest version of Photoshop and color me pretty. It's been written that a woman's long hair is her glory. Maybe. Unless it's kinky, matted, or knotted at the nape. But Garrett A. Morgan fixed it so our naps could hang and shake. So some say, don't sell me no black pride lies, just point me to the aisle with the no lie. You can have all that jazz about diaspora and African ethnicity. Why make it hard on myself? I know I'm black. Just color me pretty. And whether I'm light-skinned, dark-skinned, or brown paper bag passing, with natural hair dried in a house of powder from not moisturizing, or relaxed scalp full of scars from the chemical burning, color me pretty. So I can kick it with the socially conscious or sit comfortably in the boardroom, so I don't sweat out my press and curl or my tracks don't show in the bedroom. Color me pretty. Okay, Lord. We can keep my shoes at a size 10, but could you make the rest of my body a size 3? Just don't take all my booty. Color me pretty. See, my ex dumped me for some Brazilian-looking chicken. I can't make him jealous rocking no Afro puff. See, I want to be black, but not too black, just black enough. Color me pretty. See, all those excuses are just a mask for our inherited insecurities. But pretty is as pretty sees, so when eyes are wide shut to possibilities, pretty is all we'll ever be.
Snap, snap, and toe tap. Diva Janice, what are you doing? Are you going to give this selection some rotten tomatoes, or are you snapping your fingers?
I'm snapping my fingers. On both hands, the color me vibrant colors, as I might add, vibrant colors. Vibrant is beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
All righty, I like that. Snapping both fingers.
Yes.
Lauria, you get to participate in this segment of Grow Your Mind and Money and of our selection judgment. So what say you? Is it rotten tomatoes or are you snap, snap, snap?
I'm definitely snapping. It was really good. I loved the anger in her voice, what she sang with all the authority and the passion. I really, really loved it. It was great.
All right. Empress of Space, Nakia, what say you? Snap, or rotten snake?
Now, you know I'm going to get at a snap, toe tap in there, color me pretty. I'm like Diva Robin, color me pretty with a I love pink, so throw me, just splash me with pink all over the place, all shades. Love it.
Mm. All right, Baroness Robin.
It gave me goosebumps. I loved it. So snaps for sure.
We are winning over here tonight. Ryan B., what say you? Are you
Those Brazilian chicks are overrated. They overrated. That's all I got. They overrated. Snap and a toe tap. Nappy head. Snap toe tap with a snappy head.
I am giving this selection. Would you believe I had some tomatoes in my head? Okay, nah, I'm kidding. This is actually one of my favorite pieces. I love Color Me Pretty. It gives me goosebumps and it makes me feel stronger and just empowering every time I hear it. So, of course, snap, jingling the keys, the whole night. So for our listening audience and participants, if you enjoyed the performance from Smelter Flower, you can check her out on YouTube and the Old Grumpy Radio Network. It is now time for our interview to continue with Lauria, the champion for humanity. Baroness Robin, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm so honored to continue this interview. So, Lauria, thank you. In this segment, we will learn more about Lauria and her career as an entertainer, singer, and songwriter. Welcome back, Lauria.
Thank you very much.
Lauria, will you please share the aha moment when you knew in your heart of hearts that you were being called to go beyond being a singer and being a complete entertainer?
That may be cliche to say, but I've deep down in my heart always knew that I wanted to be an entertainer. There's this old show, is a French show called Notre Dame de Paris that I watched when I was 2 years old. And my family's favorite story to tell about me is that I was 2, 3, 4-year-old dancing and singing to it in front of everybody and forcing my family to look at me so I could perform in front of them. And I've just always been so in love with singing and entertaining.
So it's really been a straight shot for you? You knew that when you were little and it's just been, that's how it was ever since?
Exactly, yep.
Yeah. Wow. You are very fortunate. That is so amazing. Yeah.
I'm hoping that it's going to keep going. We don't know, but for now.
Yeah, I got it. Well, do you did you have an aha moment when you were really little, or do you remember that? Was there any moment? No, okay.
I'm trying to think of one really hard, but I always feel like I've always loved to sing. I'm looking for one, but I don't think I have a
Well, you're singing for a lot of us who wish we could. So, what circumstances, people, or new challenges come into consideration as you do the work to become successful in the entertainment industry? So, and also, what do you think or say success will look like for you in the entertainment world? So those are really two questions.
Yeah. Well, for the first question, the challenges and everything is, well, working in teams, it's sometimes a little hard for me to accept that other people also will have input. It's a little hard for me. I mean, yeah, unfortunately, you work with musicians, producers, and sometimes constructive criticism sounds like just criticism to me because I'm very sensitive about my art. But I know that I have to take it in order to grow and to get better. And that's definitely a challenge that I have to take into consideration.
Yeah.
And success and what it
with regard to that first one, is there any specific example you could give us where there was a certain circumstance or person or challenge that you felt with?
Sure. Well, recording Lurini, I was working with a producer who had worked with a lot of other artists before, and I think he was a little cocky, but he had great ideas. And we had a hard relationship, kind of a hate-love, because we created something nice together, but we didn't always agree when it came to ideas. And I really needed to take a moment by myself, take a breather, and think, he wants this song to be just as successful as I do. And so I need to accept his input, even though sometimes I didn't always agree or I felt like it was personal. But I made it through.
Yeah, it's really great, like that you actually changed the way you looked at it.
Right, exactly.
It was really cool. And so the second question, what do you think or say success will look like for you in the entertainment world?
Success for me, I feel like I'll be successful when my art will help someone, just one person somewhere out there. Because I feel like there's a lot of things that are going on right now, in the world. I don't want to get into that, but there's also the little things. People have difficulties with their families, difficulties at school, and I know that music for me was an escape. It still is today an escape, and it makes me feel better, and I want to do that for somebody else. And the moment that I'm going to have somebody or a community, I don't know, who comes to me and says, listen, this was helpful for me, then it will be success.
Got it. Has that happened?
No, not yet.
Not yet? Okay.
But that's okay.
Totally.
Like we have an expression in French that says, good things come to those who wait. Oh, you guys will have it too.
We do.
So, good things come to those who wait. So I'm being patient.
So and are there any other measures for you? Do you want to be on a certain record label, or do you want to perform a certain place? Anything like that for you?
Not really. I just want to be able to live from my art. So as long as so as long as
you want us to support you.
Right. I don't want to have to put my focus anywhere else at work or anything. So the moment that I can just live from doing music, then that will be good. That will be sufficient for me.
Okay, great. Got that. Thank you. Okay, here's a little tougher question maybe. And you did this in the first part of your interview, and I don't know if there's another one that you can think of or not, but I'm going to ask you to please share a disappointment that involved working with others that had you shake your head even today.
Let me think. Oh, yeah, there is a different one. Before I joined the band, I was actually working on music with a friend of mine who, once again, also decided that it wasn't for her. And, but a few months later, she was recording with another friend of hers. And so that was a big disappointment because I was okay with her leaving because it didn't make her happy. But then I realized that I think she left because she didn't like working with me. And that was a little bit hard to swallow.
Yeah. But how did you deal with it?
I was very angry at first. I have to be honest. I was very angry.
Thank you for being honest.
Of course.
Yeah.
I was very angry, but
much appreciated. Yeah.
No, I got over it. We're still friends today, and
Good.
I just realized that people just have to do what they got to do, and if that's what's best for them, then that's what's best for her.
Yeah, that's a great lesson to take away.
Thank you.
Truly, we can all use that one, I think. So, will you please share a specific moment or event where your efforts and specifically the work of others on a project brought a smile to your face, or even brought joy to your life?
Sure. So there was, when I started writing songs, I personally cannot play any instrument. I try and I can't. And I have a friend who plays guitar. And I showed her one of my songs, and she said, hold on, this inspires me. And she started right away kind of coming up with melodies with the song. And I was like, wow, like, I'm actually, I don't know how to explain it, but I felt like my ideas were growing, and I was like, wow, we're going somewhere. And she's still very helpful with my career today, and her involvement, I owe her almost everything, because her involvement with my music really, really makes everything better. And she puts the biggest smile on my face when it comes to my career.
Oh, it was a turning point, right?
It really was, yes.
Yeah.
I felt like, wait, I'm not just writing in my room. Like, people could hear this.
Yeah, that is so moving. That is a perfect example. Thank you for sharing that. Really powerful. I was there the way you described it, and the joy and I know exactly what you're talking about. It's really great. Well, let's see. That's really it for the questions at this point, unless there's anything you want to add about what we've talked about.
Not much to add. I want to thank you so much for having me on the show. I'm so grateful. It was really nice, my first interview, and I am very happy that it was with you guys.
Yay, and it's not done.
Right, of course.
It's wonderful interviewing you. Thank you so much for your willingness to be so candid. But now I'm going to check in with the Divas and find out what's present for them from the interview. So I think I will start with Diva Janice.
Thank you. What's present for me from the interview? Oh, my goodness. I find her to be so refreshing, and I just have this small piece of advice to give to her in regarding her evolution, because she has so much potential to expand because of her range, not just vocally, but her ideology about life and her grounding. I just find to be refreshing, absolutely refreshing. And if you can stay in an atmosphere where you're not contaminated by the things that you will experience, and the higher you go, the crazier it gets because of the exposure and the people who are clamoring to be in your space. But if you can just stay in a space where you're not contaminated by that, your life is going to be filled with so many wonderful, wonderful experiences. And I wish you Godspeed, and it's just a blessing to hear you talk. That's what's present for me.
That's lovely.
You're welcome.
Janice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Whew. And Diva Nikki, what's present for you from the interview?
What's present for me from the interview is how Lauria honestly expressed that someone did not want to work with her, and how disappointing and how angry she was about that. But then she had to come to the resolve that everyone must do what is best for them, no matter what, and being okay with that, and still wanting them to experience the fulfillment that they desire and deserve, just like she.
Yeah. That's wonderful, and thank you for underlining that, Diva Nikki. It's really an important point. Yeah, thank you. And last but not least, Empress Nakia.
Yes, ma'am. And, you know, with what everyone else have already shared, I'm not going to be repetitive. But I also would like to highlight the fact that even though you may not necessarily have been pleased with the decision of your friend, you remain friends. And you still have a relationship even beyond what happened. I mean, you saw it for what it was. It's something that occurred, it happened, and you are not holding resentment. You're not holding her hostage. You're not, you know, doing any of that. You have a loving relationship with your friend that made a decision. And, you know, as a result, you made decisions. And you all both continue to do that each and every day and be there and be present for one another and support one another. And we have to, I'm not in the music industry. However, you know, I have other experience in a multitude of backgrounds. And that's not always common. That's not always an everyday occurrence when you walk into a partnership with a friend, someone that you held dear and near to you. And you walk into that partnership, and at the end of the day, no matter what occurred, whether that partnership continued on or you split and went separate ways, you can look back and say, you know what, my friend is still here. Mm-hmm. That's someone I can still call upon, I can still talk to, I can still share with, and what happened, happened, and there's still a relationship and a bond like it was previously, but you know what, is that much stronger. Because I'm quite sure in that industry and in so many others that I can attest to, that's
Thank you.
And that's not every day. And when you have a friend like that, you hold on to that person. And you
Thank you, Nakia.
Absolutely.
That is fabulous. Thank you so much. Lauria, we could share forever.
Well, I do want to say, I'm going to interject since
great.
I'm allowed. Since I'm allowed.
You are.
Maybe. What I wanted to say was that constructive criticism. And one thing that I've gotten is that whether it's constructive or not depends on how I'm listening. And because it's the listening that shapes how I'm going to experience what's being said. Because I can have two people say the exact same thing, and I can have it that one is being constructive, and I can have the other one as being nitpicky. And
that's a great point.
Yeah, and there's power in being able to be with it all and have it all be constructive. You know, each week that I'm even though I'm the guy that produces the show, the divas are always training me. Now, I hope they get some value from what I'm doing, but it's like each week I have 5 different coaches. And that's how I'm listening for how they can coach me. And they make me better. I'm really, really good with people. But, you know, and you can say, well, that's like natural. No, I have to work with these ladies. So I learn to be good with people. So it's the listening.
Yeah.
And I just want to thank you for the acknowledging that. And, yes, there are some people who are just criticized. And you have to say of what your experience of that will be. All right, back to you, Diva Robbie.
Thank you. I'm glad you added that. That's a wonderful point. Well, Lauria, as I was starting to say before Ronnie added his wonderful words of wisdom, we could share forever, and trust me, we really could. And now it's time to hear from our listeners. So, Empress Nakia, please tell us, what do you hear from the ethers?
All right, let's see. Woo! We love to hear from our listeners. We love the sharing. We love the excitement. Ah! Oh, my bad. Okay, calm down. So, what is from the ethers? Let's hear what Marguerite Summers have to say from Madison, Wisconsin. Well, God bless you, Nakia, and the rest of the Prosperous Divas. My new year is starting with me getting straight with myself about what I want in a relationship. If you asked me whether I wanted a man in my life or at least a boyfriend, I would say all the typical stuff women say, including God sending me the right one. Girl, get out my mouth. Oh, just out of line. Well, I realize God has been sending me plenty of the right ones. And as fast as God sends them, I make sure they are not the one. Ooh, I love her. What I got from the conversation was I need to be honest with myself and others about being in a relationship. I realize that I am totally comfortable with being single and not having to get someone's permission to do what I want or need to consider their feelings. Most of the time, I realize that most of the time, I hear women complaining how men don't want to commit to a relationship. But I'm starting to realize that many successful women, including myself, are the ones who have trouble committing because we are spoiled and don't want to do the work required to have a great relationship. I own my independence, and if I want a man in my life as a husband or partner, I need to be responsible and willing to be freed from my freedom. Ooh. When Ronnie B. shared about his friend whose parents had an arranged marriage and how the mother told the kids how she could choose to love her husband, blew my mind. Talk about the power of your word. It all comes down to choosing and having faith in your word. Thank all of you for making my 2019 bright. Exclamation point, girl is on fire. Wow. Okay. Thank you so much, Marguerite Summers from Madison, Wisconsin, for that. Now, let's listen to what Ms. Samantha Brower has to say from Phoenix, Arizona. Dear Prosperous Divas, I want to thank all of you for the workshops and for Grow Your Mind and Money. I considered myself an enlightened and transformed person, especially since I have taken all sorts of transformation courses. What I realized over the past year from listening and participating was I was doing transformation theory while you were doing transformation work, putting it into reality and making transformation practical and pragmatic. I scoffed at doing many of the assignments because I already knew this stuff. When I finally started doing the work, I found, quote, buts, B-U-T-S, end quote, were everywhere in my life and in my conversations. I am beginning to see things about myself that had been hidden or buried. The funny thing is they are not dramatic things, but simple things that have a bigger impact than I was aware of. I love the idea of creating possibilities instead of resolutions that get broken almost immediately. Why set myself up for starting the year with failure when I can start the year with exciting possibilities, or at least good possibilities? By the way, I am a veteran dealing with PTSD. Before your course, I would have said suffering. I am proud of Diva Nikki for being my sister in arms and her courage being on the show with all of the fireworks going off. I know it was unsettling. I was surprised how Ronnie B. and Diva Nikia handled the situation. They were honest with the listeners about her situation and empowered Diva Nikki. It was awesome. Have a great new year, Prosperous Divas. I am looking forward to your next seminar and more of Grow Your Mind and Money in 2019. Now, all I want to say first and foremost is, whoa, that was a lot in the best of ways. So let me now check in with the Divas, our guests, and see what is present for them from the voice of the ethers. Diva Nikki, would you like to give any words?
Yes. First of all, of course, I'm always grateful to hear from our audience, and our participants, because it's just wonderful for you all to share. So I'm grateful. And for Margaret, I just want to say I am so in awe every time I hear someone remember that love is a choice. I think we have heard falling in love for so long that we have given love this mystic false representation and disempowering of ourselves. We choose to love or not love every day. Every day. We choose to love or not love or be romantically involved with someone based upon our desires every single day. So even when we fall, quote unquote, in love, it is a choice that we made that allowed us to do so. So I'm just grateful, for someone else coming into that acknowledgement and for her finding those hidden butts. I'm telling you, those butts are everywhere. Phoenix, Arizona happens to be my second home. And I thank you so much for your fellow support as my sister in arms. Thank you so much. And I'm glad to hear you also transition from suffering to dealing with. Because wording is everything. And dealing with gives us more power versus suffering. So thank you for that. And yes, my team, Diva Nikia and Ronnie B, they were extremely helpful and supportive that night. And I thank you for your acknowledgement in my remaining present, even in the discomfort. And may you continue to grow and gain wellness through your empowerment and in dealing with the PTSD. And may our voice be a voice also for our other former veterans. Thank you. Fellow veterans.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nikki, for those kind words and that insight. Diva Janice?
What's present for me is, as number one, dealing with some
pertaining to Samantha and her honesty about being in a relationship, that most certainly is refreshing, and I think all of us have to come to this particular juncture in terms of what we want and really what the relationship is going to look like. So I say kudos to her for taking the time to do this assessment, because it is painful, and as Nikki indicated, we have an ideology about what love looks like, what love should feel like, and if you're not present and doing, I won't say the work, but it is work, if you're not doing what is necessary to make it as healthy as possible, you have the opposite effect. So I say kudos to her. And to the person who served in the armed forces, the young lady, most certainly my heart goes out to everyone who served. I have a twin brother who served in the military, and I do know firsthand as a family member that when they serve, you're serving too, and whatever their pain is your pain too. And when people can move forward and deal with the things that are haunting them, I have the greatest respect for them. So I say kudos to her and Nikki as well, because they put everything on the line so that we can enjoy what we do, be it bad, good, bad, or indifferent. So I just say kudos to these people who are courageous enough to be a part of the conversation and to get some measurements out of it. That's what I'm present to.
Thank you for sharing. Marguerite Summers is the relationship communicator, and Samantha Brower is discussing the butt and the PTSD. And Ms. Laura, what would you like to say? Would you like to give a share of what was present for you from the Voices from the Ethers, from our listeners?
Sure. Well, I'm even not shock is not the right word, but I am very surprised that people are so honest to begin with and are sharing with you how they feel in all of these issues. And I think when you have issues and problems, the first step is simply not be in denial, because a lot of us, when we get into our feelings, we want to deny it and pretend like everything is going well. And I think it's so courageous to not be in denial, accept it, something's going wrong, and I have to fix it, and I have to do something about it. And I think the fact that those ladies are simply writing it down and putting words onto it, I think that's already super courageous. And Margaret, with her relationship realization that she's independent and she's okay, and that she knows that there's sacrifice that come with being in a relationship. I think that's very, very beautiful, and I think there's a lot of things to learn from that. And Samantha Bauer,
the host has joined the conference.
Burr, even more with her issue with PTSD. I personally do not know anybody who's serving, but I think that it's just to simply be back and dealing with that, and like you said, not say suffer, but dealing with. I think it's really beautiful and very courageous. I'm bowing down to both of these ladies for the lessons that they've learned.
Wow, thank you so much, Laura. Diva, nope. What about Ronnie B?
Well, I was, as I was looking at both of them, one of the things that stands out for me is when, like Diva Nikki said, choice. There's, you are not going to find love, because love is something that you generate. It's not something you have, it's something you generate. And when you I had someone ask me, said, hey, now there's the hashtag of Me Too, and I know this great lady at work, and I don't want to come off in a way that occurs like I'm being a Harvey Weinstein. And I said, well, look, just don't do stuff like Bill Cosby and Harvey Weinstein. You don't have to worry about that. But what I did say was, look, you can't make someone love you. The best you can do is generate love and trust that the space will work itself out. So if you're already the space for love, generating love, well, guess what? Now you're open to receive it. And it's a choice. And I thought it was really powerful when she said that, hey, I have to be honest. Do I really want to be in a relationship? And it's okay if you don't. Or it's okay that you know how you want a relationship to look and have it that way. It's like actually okay. And what makes it really powerful is when you're able to say, this is really how I want it to go. And so I really like that she's being responsible and saying, hey, this is how I want it to go. And I can change that if I choose. But this is what I'm choosing today. So I really like that. And thank you, Samantha. And come on down for the next seminar. And a big salute to you as well.
Hey, you guys, I didn't get included. This is Robin.
I'm not done with you, Robin.
Good. I'm not done with you either. May I? I don't have a lot to add. I just want to I just thank you all for what you said, and you said everything I wanted to say. Except I also want to I want to thank both of the people who wrote into us for the amazing honesty and the beauty and the appreciation. It makes such a difference for all of us, including me, of course. But I wanted to thank Nikki, Diva Nikki, for being. I wasn't here. I was out of the country during the segment that Samantha was referring to. I didn't know about that, but I know that it makes a huge difference for you to be so authentic, Diva Nikki, and for you to allow yourself to be contributed to, and that it opens the space for everyone to have the beauty and aliveness and vitality and responsibility that you exemplify in all that you deal with. And that's what I have.
Thank you, Diva Robin. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. See, these ladies, I'm telling you, these ladies in this chat, they're just everything. They're great.
Yeah.
They're freaking awesome.
Right back at you, girl.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, for myself, and thank you so much, ladies, and Ronnie B, for your sharing and just the freedom to give back to our listeners. And for myself, Ms. Summers, I truly acknowledge you, and I really thank you for writing in. And it's always so humbling to hear and be able to have the honor to read the letters from our listeners, because it really allows us to know that people are getting something out of doing the work. People are getting something out of our sharing, our authenticity, our transparency. And, I mean, like we always say, we give it all to you. You know, we're really doing this work ourselves, and you're not just looking at us talk about it. We're being responsible for our words and our actions, and where we're not responsible, we acknowledge and get back into the line of integrity and get back to work. Because when we are being a representative for our listeners, for our family, because you're our family, then we have to be held accountable, and we have to hold ourselves accountable for what we're putting into the space. And your communication, Ms. Summers, is clear that you really took the time to evaluate, to just sit back and think it through or write it out or put it out there and acknowledge for yourself what it was that you desired to get and how you were really being in the world and being with others and being with yourself and being in the space of saying that you needed to be responsible and willing to be free from your freedom. And, man, like my vision board that I created and just finally finished today, after working on it for about a week, the center of it is basically saying, you know, being free from my freedom, you know, and whether that's my mind and my actions or who I've been being or whatever the case may be, and just really stepping out into the world for what it is that I want and declaring it and being present to it every day. And Samantha Brower, thank you so much, because even with you, it acknowledges that the pricelessness, and if that is not a word, I made it up, it sounded good, of the workshops that we do and the seminars that we do is a part of the contribution that we're able to make into the world. And whether we see it as small contributions or major contributions, whatever way you are, when you are present to the conversation, is perfectly fine. And however the impact is upon you that is received as a result of the conversation, it's the impact that needs to be present for you in that moment. And then you get something from it, and you go give back out into the world. And all of the buts in the world, yes, we got to have them. We're going to have them. And it's just for us to transform those buts into ands. And for myself, who's also been through transformation programs, yeah, we think we've been through it all. We think that we're familiar with something, but until we really start taking the action, which is what it's all about, we really have no clue. So thank you for being a bold leader in this world and taking the action and being transparent in your conversation with us and being real with the world and authentic. And thank you for acknowledging Ronnie B and myself, and it's just what we do, because Diva Nikki is my sister, and her health and well-being is critical to me. It is so imperative that I know that she's okay, because we all go through things. And her walk and her story is far different from my walk and my story. But it doesn't mean that we can't relate, we can't connect, we can't show compassion and love for one another, and a concern for the health and well-being and sanctity of each of us. Because without us, we wouldn't be a family. We wouldn't be the Prosperous Divas. We'll just be some women and a man talking on a platform and not utilizing it the way God intended for us to utilize it to make a difference in the world. So thank you both. Thank you to all our listeners. And continue to grow your mind and money in 2019 and continue to be a part of the Prosperous Divas family and share what we have to share with the world. Now, coming up in the next segment, the finale, our Laura's final interview with Diva Nikki, Food for Thought, and the Prosperity Work.
We give it all to you on Grow Your Mind and Money, and we do it all with love. Over to Diva Nikki for the finale.
All right. For the continuation, guest Lauria, thank you for sharing. I have a few more questions to go. So the first question is, what challenges do you see lurking in the waters that will try to slow you down or take you off the path and your dreams exceed beyond expectations?
I would say risk, and I'm going to define that because I'm going to need to take the steps to completely dedicate my time and energy to music, because right now I'm working, so I have a little but stable income, and I'm in school. But I know that at some point I'm going to have to take that step and risk and gamble on myself and put all of my time and energy into the music. And it'll have to be done, but I know that it's going to be a challenge because I'm scared of that risky road, and I'm a little scared of not having so much of being stable in life. But I know it'll have to be done. But that's definitely going to slow me down a little bit. Try to slow me down at least.
Okay, so when you say that, do you see the presence? Do you see the presence of fear, and again, the opposition of faith, and trusting your purpose, and trusting the divine order of things?
I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
I'm sorry. I said, when you said, do you see how there's, basically, do you see how there's more room for a divine order and trusting the divine order of things?
I'm sorry. You're a little buffering over here. I'm not really understanding.
I kind of think that, Diva Nikki, I hate to interject. I think your question ain't clear.
I'm sorry?
Were you asking another question? Because I think that's what wasn't clear. Were you asking a question?
I was asking in that did she see how there's just more room for a divine order to take place? How there's more room for trusting the divine order. But
trusting the divine order. Okay. I'm sorry. I think it was a phone thing. Don't worry. But no, definitely, I trust that if it's meant to happen, it will happen, and I trust in myself. But sometimes the hardest person to take a risk on is yourself, and I'm scared that I'll disappoint myself. Yeah, but I
can relate.
Yeah, but honestly, it's a fear for me, but I will try, and hopefully it won't slow me down.
I have all the confidence in you. Can you please share 2 pitfalls you have seen people fall into when it comes to being consistent in their actions for having their dreams and desires manifested?
I would say the first one is definitely not focusing, not having determination, and waiting for someone else to do the work for them. Right. Many people in my life that also wants to be artists or this and that, and they kind of just wait to be. They're waiting to be lucky. They're waiting for somebody else to have the aha moment for them. And I think that's a big pitfall. And the second one that I've seen is when, especially with other artists my age, they try to be like someone else too much. The girls, they want to be Rihanna too much. The boys, they want to be, I don't know, Drake too much. And they try to be someone else or to follow trends that are already, what's the word that I'm looking for? Saturated. And I think that's a big pitfall. Market? Yeah, exactly. I think that's a big pitfall.
Okay, so not allowing themselves to be the individual.
Exactly.
I get it. Okay. Would you please share with us one practice you use daily to keep yourself in action and focus on the results you intend to produce, especially with you being in school and with you working? How do you balance it out?
The one practice, it's going to sound very cheesy, but I come into my room and I just sing, and I just put my phone down and I turn off my computer and I just pretend to have a mic in my hand and I just sing, and I remind myself why I'm doing this and why I'm working so hard, because it makes me so happy. And I try to do it daily.
Nice. I like that. I don't think I've heard that before, but you're putting yourself right back there. You know, you're like putting yourself in, you're being present to where you want to be, basically.
Exactly.
Okay. Now, we did mention, you mentioned your support your grandmother's foundation. Please share a little about the work her foundation performs and how people can support her efforts.
Well, my grandma, first of all, she's a hero. She's great. She
all right.
Retirement. Yeah, she went into retirement just to work more. And she had she created a kindergarten for children in Haiti, because we're Haitian, in a little town called Sarthe-Cavajal. And right now, that little kindergarten is being handled by the nuns, but she's working with the GRAN. So I'm going to try to anglify it. It's the GRAN, GRAHN, and she's working with UNICEF and just to help Haiti as much as she can. And anybody can support her effort by simply Googling GRAN, so GRAHN. See what they do. They can support, do a little donation, come up with great ideas, try to help this little island that we call home.
Oh wow, that is neat. So you said it's GRAHN.
That's correct. So GRAHN. It's the GRAN, and they do many things over there, especially for young children, trying to change a little bit the future of the country.
Okay. Children are the future. What do you have on your plate, and how can our listeners learn more about your music and upcoming performances?
Right now, I'm working on a new song that I'm very excited about because it's going to be a little different. And it's called My Love. Hopefully, it's going to come out either end of January and February. You can catch it. I try to release my songs on as many platforms as possible. So Spotify, Apple Music, Google Music, YouTube. And I'm also trying really hard to have a video coming out in the next 3 months, hopefully. And will it be your first video? Yes, my first video, and I'm very nervous about that because I'm very camera shy. But we'll see how it goes. And you can catch me, like I said, on Instagram, official Lauria, Twitter, same official Lauria, and on Facebook by simply typing Lauria, and I'll be there.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. All right. Well, let me check in with the Divas and see what is present for them from the interview. And I'm going to start off with our gentleman of the night, Ronnie B. What are you present to from the interview?
What I'm present to is those 2 pitfalls. Somebody else is going to do the work for you. Yep, somebody else is going to do the work for me, and ta-da, I show up. Right. And Lauria, I'm going to tell you that affliction is not dependent upon age. You would think it would be different, but no. So I'm really present to that people thinking that someone else is going to do the work for them to have a breakthrough or to, quote, be famous and successful. Right. Okay, that's it.
All right. Let's check in with Diva Janice. What are you present to?
I'm present to the refreshing that is in the air that was induced by this young lady and her experiences, and also the people who wrote in to talk about what they get from the show. It's a great way to start this new year, and that's what I'm present to, is just being open and embracing the challenges, embracing the opportunity to start afresh and to hear when the universe has given us another opportunity to do something different. And those messages come through different voices and mediums, and just be open to that. So that's what I'm present to.
Okay, thank you. Empress of Faith, Nakia, what are you present to from what Lauria has shared?
I'm present to growth. I'm present to new outlooks and opportunities for both Lauria and our listeners and ourselves, and the sharing and the ease of the conversation, and her being just very authentic without all the fluff and the story behind it, but just really being clear and transparent. And it's totally refreshing, and it's truly appreciated. Thank you.
Agreed. Thank you. Baroness Robin, what is present for you?
Well, I'm present to Lauria. I'm present to her lovely combination of practicality, like practical wisdom, and inspiration. And it's rare, I think it's really rare that some people are so inspiring and you just kind of cross your fingers that they'll get their feet on the ground. And then some people are so practical, but there's no inspiration, and Lauria embodies both, and that inspires me. So that's what I'm present to.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I am present to Lauria's ability to clearly communicate exactly what is going on and where she is and what she is present to without hesitation. Very authentic, very, very straight to the point, and very, very clear. Thank you, Lauria, for being on Grow Your Mind and Money and sharing so powerfully. You are welcome to stay for the rest of the show, so please do, if you can. And I wonder what special dish Baroness Robin has dipped up for us on Food for Thought. Robin.
Hi there, thank you. Food for thought on our subject for tonight, which is divine order. I appreciate the divine order and clarity expressing in every part of my life. There is a satisfaction and feeling that my own ego mind is in control of the events in my life, today and for days to come. However, there is a deeper, richer satisfaction that I experience when I surrender to the loving power that causes everything in the universe to flow and express in order and harmony. In that surrender, I release my own limited efforts to organize my life. There is one power, and I am part of it. I am an essential part of a purpose more vast than my mind can imagine. I know that my day unfolds as an expression of that purpose. I give thanks for divine order in my life. I joyously embrace and rely upon the clarity that expresses in every part of my life. Given the theme divine order, one action I will take on this week is to capture this expression beginning with what I just recited and say it twice a day to myself every day this week. and over to Empress Nakia for the prosperity work.
Thank you so much. Living from the future. We say you are being, and the actions.
You might want to start that over.
Oh, wow, thank you. We say who you are being, and the actions you are taking in the present are a function of the future or possibilities that are present in your life. We are going to work each week on an aspect of creating from the future by creating possibilities that pull you forward into the future you have designed. Let's say you want to lose weight. You might say, this year I'm going to go on a diet. That sounds exciting, doesn't it? Not. Try this one. This year I am going to be a mean, lean, adorable machine. Now that's a little more interesting, wouldn't you say? Now let's ask the question. If I was a lean, mean, adorable machine, what actions would I be taking or new activities I would be undertaking? Maybe run a marathon, ballroom dancing, or taking long walks daily. The possibility of being a lean, mean, adorable machine opens new possibilities for action from a future you created. Now let's do the work. Standing in the future, December 31st, 2019, write 3 new possibilities that were fulfilled that had you in action. Now, here's a simple format. Standing in the future, December 31st, 2019, the possibility I created for myself was the possibility of being or having blank. You fill in the blank, okay? And the actions I took were blank. You fill in the blank. Now ask the question, what negative conversations did I let free about myself and others that allowed the possibilities I created to be fulfilled? Share the possibilities you created with at least 3 people who will support you in manifesting these possibilities into reality. Do not attempt this alone. Get support. It is the key. Always remember, demand a miracle. Be a demand. Let me say that again. Always remember, be a demand for miracles. Coming later this January, Future Wealth, Manifesting and Creating from the Future Now, a new series by the Prosperous Divas. A world of peace and prosperity, one listener at a time. Until next time, grow your mind and money. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Peace, love, and blessings. We're out.